Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning. It is time for Coffee Ann here on ON AM and FM. It is Wednesday. It's November 8th. My name's Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us this morning at the Coffee Ann table. We'll say good morning to Tim Draper from Navigate Credit Union. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Joe. Wow, November 8th.
Yeah, how about that?
Flying
by. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
John Ward is with us as well. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning, everyone.
And we expect Melissa Smith from the San Antonio Communities to be joining us. She's not here right now.
Probably in traffic.
Stuck behind a bus, I guess. But we'll move her segment to the next segment, and so everything will be okay there.
Yeah.
So, the big story was it was Election Day yesterday, and really to no one's surprise, Gabe Amo came out victorious, and basically 2-1, right? Was it 2-1?
Yeah, I think so.
2-1 over Gary Leonard, and so he is now the congressman-elect until he gets sworn in. When does he get sworn in?
Probably pretty quick.
I would think may have already. Well, once they certify the election, so whatever it takes.
So that'd be a day.
Whatever it takes for the Board of Elections to certify the election,
yeah.
I would think probably within 12 hours, an hour.
So you have to go
Really?
Well, I think the Board of Elections is working diligently to get this done
certify it.
quickly because the deadline for the government to shut down is only 10 days away.
Oh, yeah.
So we need him down there.
Here's your first assignment.
They want him to get down there and get
Right.
to
Maybe
work.
part of the voting process.
I
of
wouldn't.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Does
I
he
think-
have to get sworn in the Senate? I mean, in the House, or does he get sworn in locally by like the governor?
I think he can get sworn in by anybody, but he may probably already have traveled or getting ready to travel to Washington and have the minority leader of the House swear him in or the Speaker of the House swear him in, however they do that.
Well, he was
I'm
in-
not sure how they do it. Every 2 years they do have this ceremonial swearing in thing down in Washington in Congress.
Yeah.
According to our news story that I just took a look at, he gets sworn in next week.
Yeah, but I guess anybody can do it. I mean, anybody
Yeah.
locally can do it.
Right.
That's qualified to do it.
All right.
So,
Did anybody hear anything? I heard clippets. Oh, by the way, Melissa Smith is here. Hi, Melissa.
Oh, by the way,
I wanna
sorry
acknowledge
for
her-
snuck
interrupting.
in.
I want to acknowledge your presence.
Thank you.
But I
That's a
heard
greatness.
Gabe Amo's acceptance speech and how the usual thanking of everybody. Did anybody hear Gary Leonard's speech thanking his people?
Was there any
Did he
news
have to-
coverage of that campaign?
They had to send somebody down to his
Some
headquarters.
third-tier reporter that nobody listens to.
So
anyway.
what do you think, Gary?
Yeah, he lost.
But the
Congratulations,
surprising
Gabe.
thing, at least I think it's surprising, is Gary took Woonsocket and North Smithfield.
Yeah.
So a lot of Republicans up there, huh?
I'm surprised that he
Yes,
didn't take
there
some
are.
of the southern parts of that district too.
Yeah.
But,
Like which parts?
was it North Kingston? Isn't that in CD1?
Yeah.
A couple others. But he was overwhelming. that
Providence,
winter.
Pawtucket, those.
Well, I knew
hubs.
I knew that would probably go Democratic. They always
Yeah.
go Democratic,
Yeah.
which is why they gerrymandered the district line to be that way.
Yeah. Okay.
it was an election in Congressional District 1 in Rhode Island, and the Republican got in the 30% range, and the Democrat got in the 60+% range, and
This is par for the
all
course.
is well with the world, and that's
It's
just
just
how
pretty
things
much
work
normal,
here.
normal stuff.
All right. The other thing, election in our area was, and maybe Melissa wants to talk about this, is that the police station in North Smithfield was shot down handily.
That's kind of an interesting way to put
this
that.
has
Joe.
been a
Surprise-
pretty
surprise, first of all?
divided town
Was it?
topic, I will say.
Is it because
the
of-
outcome wasn't split evenly, but it
Okay.
seemed more favorable towards not supporting the
Is
police
it,
station.
Is it
but
because of the cost?
I think
Is that
so.
all it
I
comes
think
down
so
to?
because no one disagrees with the fact, myself included, that there's a need,
Need for
for a
one.
new police station.
But you're not going to get one cheaper
You know,
than what they were proposing.
You know,
you're not.
And next year, if you try again, it's going to be $20 million.
I was working for the town of Lincoln when we did the expansion of the police station, and the technical requirements of what you need to have in a police station in terms of the sally ports, the cells, the cameras, the security, the equipment that's specialized to it. You know, and the time it's going to take to get to the construction point. $18 million.
And knocking down the old building.
That was a fair market value.
I-
I think the headline should read, though, I just thought of that, it should read Arrested Development.
it's so I appreciate what you're saying, and yeah, there's probably some variables that I wasn't considering as a voter that would contribute to the cost being as much as it was. But I think when, as a resident in the town, you look at how many projects need to be addressed in the town. Again, not saying that that is not critical, because it is. It needs to be addressed soon. This has been discussed basically since I moved to town 12 years ago, which is really frustrating. But I also know the fire station needs to be looked at, but my understanding is that that's a private entity, but still looking at more of like other towns, an emergency complex where, you know, even if it's a private entity, allowing space for them, but having a hub in town. And so a lot of people were looking at like keeping it on the same property. Is that smart? Like, is the location smart? It is close in proximity to
Where all the
most of their
come
calls,
from.
which is
That's
the
right, yeah.
Walmart Plaza. But also working at the largest long-term care community in the northern part of our state. We have a fire department right around the corner from us, which is a critical location as well. And there's a lot of space where that's located, and it's only a mile down the street from the existing police department. So you say, okay, is that a good hub spot? There hasn't been really consistent planning from one administrator to the next, to the next, to the next. So every time someone newly gets elected into that position, the whole planning process starts over again, it feels like. So there's no, I like a good 5-year, 10-year outlook. I've lived there for 12 years, getting my numbers confused. But they're talking about a senior center and all these other projects, and it just feels like, let's just hit the pause button, really think about what makes sense for the town, because there's just infrastructure issues too. There's road issues everywhere. There's a lot going on in our town.
There is a lot, honestly, and I'm not even a North Smithfield resident, and I can tell you that there's issues about water connections and developing commercial
Yes.
properties up Eddie Dowling Highway. There is the police station, which, by the way, you live in a town that's never actually had a dedicated police station in its history.
It's true.
Isn't it an old school building?
You have
It
some
is.
fire district.
It
You have
is.
some fire district issues, and then they have to take care of their own for the most part. And you just got around to really developing a town hall that can serve the town's full needs.
Yeah. Yep.
Through a conversion of an old school. So you get an old building being town hall.
But that's also the issue that we're having, is you have like young families moving in, they want modern, they want new, and then you have those that have lived there multi-generationally who want to preserve the history of the town, which is the draw to live there. But it's just looking shabby. And it's getting to the point where, like, what do? Do you pivot and just adopt to some of
metal
these
fence
modern
around it is not
amenities,
an
which is what
attractive
people
thing.
were looking at the police station saying, it really like was going to look, the design of it was really modern for what our town is known for, which is the history, didn't really align design wise. So that's a technicality. Okay, have someone else kind of whip up a modified design.
But the more you try to shoehorn the design of the old town into a new building, the more expensive it's going to be.
Right.
That's the challenge. In Cumberland, we had a similar issue with our public safety complex too. We had a rescue headquarters. It was in an old school administration building. We had the fire districts, which were splintered. They merged eventually, and then you have the old police station that was just woefully, storage files in the hallways because it wasn't enough room,
and we won't even talk about town hall.
and we won't even talk about town hall. But it's always been my contention in Cumberland that we really need a centralized public safety, government infrastructure, and it should be at Chapel Four Corners because that is geographically in the center
it
of
makes
town.
sense. You have a hub.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we've created a monastery preservation alliance where we're not allowed to put one shovel in the ground at the monastery space that our current mayor, who I really like and admire and has done a great job, I fault him for that. He should have never put us in a position where we can't use any piece of that land because there's a couple of pieces of it that nobody's ever going to use.
Could have used.
Yeah.
And it was a frustrating thing. But it cost us $12.5 million to build the police station
you
that
guys
we
had a
built.
lot of bonds on the ballot.
We just
and-
put a bond out. We just passed the school. We're going to get a new B.F. Norton school. Thank
Well,
God.
you
Just
should.
that.
And when
Well,
we
you
lived
should.
in
That's always-
Cumberland, I felt the same way. Our kid, or one of my kids, went to the preschool program in the basement, which ended up having like detection of
Right.
mold and all these
Oh,
other
yeah, it's
issues.
awful.
And that was, 12, 13 years ago. But I just feel like that's the problem you have with towns like ours is like everything is needed. Everything is needed. So you have a population of younger families who say the schools need the money, and then you have the elders that see the value of a safety complex, and then you have the list goes on, and you don't know what to do. And I keep saying that Smithfield should swallow up North Smithfield, and we should just be one town.
Well,
because that's where we're at.
Actually, before you spend that 18, will turn into 20 million when you finally get around to it.
It will. Yep, it's true. Because every year you're tacking on a couple
one of my
more million.
one of my biggest complaints about this state is the fact that we are so parochial and everybody talks about the 39 or 36
Cities,
school districts, and and the sort of 36 superintendents, 36 IT
Yes.
directors, 36
Yes.
special ed directors, 36 business managers,
Yep, all
36
getting
this,
paid.
36 that. I'm not even talking about the staff. I'm talking about the bureaucracy
Right.
and basically small schools compared to many parts of the country. In terms of police work, we are different again because every city and town has their own police department. If you go to most states, and maybe all states besides this one, you have urban city police departments because they need it for their population and their needs. But for the most part, the towns, the surrounding towns, operate under a county system with a county sheriff's office.
Right.
And we have county sheriff, and we have sheriffs, and they serve the courts only.
Yep.
But some years ago, they moved the control of that sheriff's office into the police, the state police jurisdiction. And so there is the capability for a sheriff operation, so that you would have state police and then you would have sheriffs. And, you know, just in northern Rhode Island, you could operate out of a sheriff's office that would service North Smithfield, Smithfield, Chepachet, Barrowville, Lincoln, Cumberland, all of that. Everything from north of North Providence up to the Massachusetts border, out to the Connecticut border, except for Woonsocket, Pawtucket, Central Falls, would have one sheriff's office with one sheriff's office building in one of those towns situated in that area that would be financed through the state public safety office, and then you would just have sheriffs servicing your department, not local policemen, because now you have all those police chiefs, you have all those captains, all those colonels, all of those this, all of those that, all of those,
Massachusetts is like
all of
that,
those,
though,
all of those what Joe Almond so affectionately called coffee trucks, where they all have their own crime unit, crime scene investigation.
That is
trucks.
true.
And they sit in the parking lot and they collect dust, and then every 5 years they say, "Hey, wait a minute, we need to update this equipment we never used," and you spend another $10,000 filling up the truck with stuff you're not going to use for the next 5 years. That's where I see the problem here: is we create a system of inefficiency, and then we stick to it no matter what.
Perpetuate it forever.
It's at some point you need to step back and say, do we need to just rebuild this and think about how we go about doing business? And as I said, it's the parochial attitude of this state that tends to work against that, and is terribly, terribly cost inefficient. And if you look at other states like New Hampshire and the fact that they've got same kind of population, much larger land mass, they do it for much less money, but they do it the way most states do it.
We did a note that was called in, 766-1240, about the police station in North Smithfield. This person says it was a victory for rejecting this bond from a North Smithfield town resident.
I think it has
this
something to
person's
do.
happy about
I think
it.
it has something to do with towns that have the word "north" in them.
I,
North Kingstown
Kingstown
rejected
rejected
most of
it.
Yeah, they
this.
said no to
I
everything.
know. There's, I mean, like every town, there's inner political struggles with some of the leadership. And I think either you like it or you don't. Either you're friends with them or you're not. And I always try to toe the line of, being kind of unbiased and looking at the facts and not worried about who I'm friends with and who has enough of a smear campaign all over Facebook. Just like Woonsocket's got the same issues, that we deal
don't
with
have
in our
issues.
town. And so, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
But it's all that. It's like it's just catty stuff, and I don't get it.
Is it split in the town where,
Yes.
like you said, where no, we should have a public safety complex, police and fire together, as opposed to just a police station?
No, I don't think
why is
that's
John
it's not
rubbing his
split
head?
opinion. I think there's a lot of
Okay.
opinions that are coming forward, and I think some people are saying, well, that's your opinions are too late to the table. Like this is
Okay.
what we need to do. Either we're repairing it or we're tearing it down and we're building a new one. The spot is non-negotiable. The discussion about a safety complex is non-negotiable. Otherwise, that's going to set us back another 5+ years, which I don't disagree with. So some new people to the town are feeling like, well, my voice should be heard, but others are saying, we've been talking about this for a long time and we need to do something, get it done. So I feel like we're getting in our own way.
All right.
So
We do got to take a break here on the Coffee and program, so more is coming your way, and we'll get to John and his stuff that's going on in Woonsocket in just a moment. Nothing's
going
Yeah,
more,
wait.
Oh no, I'm not
More-
prepared.
more coming up. Stick around.
Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. Our telephone number is 765-8880, At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal management of investment accounts, and depending on what you're looking for, we can create a portfolio that provides you with current income, invest for growth for the future, and of course, our primary focus, which is managing retirement money from client rollovers of their 401k plan after they leave the workforce. Whatever your goals are, we can put together a program to assist you. And remember, I've been in the business of investing for clients for over 30 years, helping people just like you with their investments. So call me at 765-8880. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hi, everyone. This is Bill Schneck with the Circle Laurier Club and past president of the Woonsocket Lions Club. On Friday, December 1st, the Circle Laurier will be hosting an all-you-can-eat beer and dynamite to benefit the 2023 Milk Fund Appeal. The price is $15 a person, and it runs from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Circle Laurier, located at 165 School Street here in Woonsocket. Joining me will be Katrina LaPierre. Katrina, tell us about this night's events, please.
Thanks, Bill. I'm excited for the Milk Fund kickoff. We have music by Woonsocket's finest DJ, Buddy D, to get us in the holiday spirit. Please join our Facebook group, Milk Fund, to see our raffles and silent auction items. New things are added daily. Let me tell you about a couple of auction items. We have a $250 K's gift certificate donated by Dave and Donna LaHoose, and we have lunch with the judge, Rhode Island's famous and America's favorite Judge Frank Caprio. Details are on our Facebook group page. We look forward to seeing you on December 1st.
Tickets will be available at both radio stations here in the city, as well as at Circle Laurier the night of the event, December 1st.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
We're local and live at 99.5 FM, ON, AM, and FM.
All right, it is Coffee In here on ON. Thanks for joining us. And I'm Joe Callahan here with Tim Draper and John Ward and Melissa Smith. And we were switching things around. So, Melissa, right now it's time for our first message.
Oh, I thought you said Tim was doing the first and
No,
I was doing the
no,
second
no,
half.
no, no,
All
no,
right,
no.
I'm up. So,
Tim,
yes.
Tim was on time. So,
Oh,
so it's time for our first message
I don't
from
want to
San
get
Antoine
into
Communities.
why I was late because everyone loves a good story in the morning when I normally arrive flustered. But so I'll dive in appropriately.
All right, very good.
So St. Antoine Community is a large long-term care campus located in North Smithfield, and we're on the line of Blackstone, Mass. And Woonsocket. And on our property, we offer an expansive continuum of services that range from assisted living to short and long-term skilled care, as well as a state-of-the-art rehab center, a private hospice suite, and a large secured memory care unit. And the two buildings on our property are the Villa at St. Antoine, which is our 76 apartment assisted living facility, and the Residence at St. Antoine, which is our 180 bed short and long-term skilled care facility. So if you're presently at a crossroad with your loved one and trying to determine when is the right time to seek more help and support, I encourage you to reach out to me. I'd be happy to walk you through your options. You can call me at 401-767-3500 or email me at msmith@santantoine.net.
All right, Melissa, thank you very much. All right, John, we're going to attack the, well, not attack, we're going to address the elephant.
I heard attack.
I heard attack too.
I heard attack.
Freudian slip. All right, and we did get a note called in, and it's all got to do with the land deal here in the city of Woonsocket that happened, and then it didn't happen, and like that.
The land undeal.
Yes. So the question comes: so if the Woonsocket City Council hires an attorney to investigate the sale of the Mendon Road lot, here's my question: if this quote was an illegal sale, can the sale be revoked and taxpayers' money returned, even though the mayor signed the deed for such a sale?
Well, as it turns out, the mayor didn't even actually sign the deed. The mayor signed the mayor didn't even sign the purchase and sale. I mean, she signed the purchase and sale agreement. She didn't sign the closing documents, but that's secondary. The solicitor made it clear that the moment he found out about this, he recognized that it's illegal because it violated the purchasing ordinance, the purchasing rules in the charter about purchases over $100,000. So he contacted the attorney for Mr. Bork, and he said, we're undoing this. This is not going to stand because it was not done with proper authority.
All right.
He has received the check back from Ray Bork or his representative for the $1,130,000. It's sitting in his escrow account because he has an obligation to now disperse the funds and decide who gets what in the set, because unwinding a settlement has attorney fees, has title insurance fees, and all kinds of other fees, and we have to decide what we're going to have to eat as a cost versus pay back to people And of course, the big one's the 1,130,000 gross amount that has to go back to HUD because it came out of federal home funds. So they have to get their money back. And in doing so, a part of that was 2015 funding that was set to expire by September 30th, and so is probably expired, and we will never have access to again. Maybe $187,000 of it. That will be undone. The city will not own that land. I could spend the rest of the show and more telling you about the technicalities of why. There's a whole bunch of reasons, but it won't be done. That land will not be purchased. You can't build a road back up there without violating the neighbor's rights. There's a whole series of things. However, the essence of it now is it will be undone, but it doesn't unring the bell. You can't do that. I'm not going to compare it to a bank robbery. I'm just going to say you can't unring the bell. Once you've done that with this purchase, you violated the charter in several respects. Violated the purchasing, over $100,000, violated the signing of the contract, because it was permanent for over a year, and over $100,000 without council approval. There is a legal requirement in the charter that the solicitor must review and approve in writing all contracts and agreements with the city of Woonsocket. And so this represents a contract for the purchase and sale agreement. He was completely left out of the loop, so that was a violation there. This is now going to be, as I have tried to express to people, not an issue between the council and the mayor as much as an issue between the mayor and the people who voted for her, the people who put their trust in her to do the right thing. And you've heard people make reference back to last year and, oh, is this more of the same? But the fact is, and I'm going to get the records and I'm going to write something up and make a speech about it and do a commentary in the newspapers. But the fact is that a year ago, when I was voting, and when the council people who did take a vote on removing the mayor voted, pretty much every one of the issues associated with the animal shelter, the answer was no. This is not sufficient to remove the mayor. And the only ones that really were of substance and counted was the one that had involved her paying out bonus money or extra compensation, over $100,000 of extra compensation without council approval. And again, it's a charter provision that says that the compensation for city employees is set by ordinance, and ordinances are only passed by the council. And so she never came to us. She was giving out bonus checks to employees using federal funds and never got approval of the council. So as illegal as this land transaction was, a good solicitor would have said that payment was illegal too, and we have to recover those funds from the employees. That was never done. So it became a pure, clear, easy to identify violation by the mayor. And then the second one had to do with the police contract, where the council has the basic legal authority to negotiate contracts because they set the pay for employees in accordance with state law. The mayor objected. The council offered a solution to the contract negotiation that had dragged on for almost 3 years. And the union accepted it. The council ratified it. And so there was an order or a resolution or a ratified contract in hand that was legal. And the mayor simply refused to comply with the terms of the contract by paying the retroactive pay and giving the pay increases that were called for in the contract. That is a willful violation, if I've ever heard one, of both the ordinances that call for the council to set pay for the ratification of a contract. And so that was also the second principal one that caused the removal, combined with my question, and I still go back to it, would you do this again if you were facing a similar situation? And her answer was yes.
All right.
She seemed to be willing to ignore the rules in order to do what she thinks is best. And I'm sorry, that's not how government operates. That's maybe how Tim can operate the credit union he operates, but that's a private entity.
Right.
That's not government. And so this is, again, one of those things where it's a clear, unambiguous violation. And I can't pass judgment on removal because I don't think the council should file a complaint. This is more of a loss of public trust or a violation of public trust, as I would
So
call
you're
it.
saying it should come from
And
the
it
voters.
should come from a petition of voters.
Okay.
I think it would be correct and more meaningful. And I know There are people out there that are drafting up charges now, I guarantee you, because there are some very interested parties. And then, oh, by the way, there's some former council members who took offense to being thrown out of office for what they truly believed was doing the right thing. And it's a very serious situation, and I am looking forward to hearing the explanations as to why the solicitor was left out, and why the council was left out, and frankly why the public works director was left out. If you have to build a road and do utility connections up that paper street that would ultimately be developed, and they're offended, frankly. And I think it showed itself at our last meeting with Councilman Thompson's speech, which, you know, I sometimes make light of things, and I do these sort of tongue-in-cheek jokes. And after he asked questions of the employees, and they refused to answer the questions until the closed session, I came really close, based on hearing the mayor's previous allegations about who helped you write this kind of thing with other people. And so the temptation, and I told him this, the temptation was there in my mind to say, could I have a question answered for me, Councilman Thompson? Did you write that in entirely yourself, or did somebody help you? Did I assist you in any way? Because I can almost hear the accusation coming, you didn't write that.
Yeah, John wrote it for you.
And frankly, he did write it, and I knew he wrote it. I can tell by the tone of it, because I've had enough conversations with him to know when he gets angry, he gets angry.
That's the way he sounds like.
And he was using his speaking voice when he was writing that, and I appreciated that he was willing to do that. And that's why, and basically looking at the reaction of all the council people, I took the time to thank them, because for them to come to the harsh realization that all of the promises that the mayor was making to them back when about collegiality and working with them and doing all of those things, the emails tracing this transaction go all the way back to January, and I think there might even be something in last year, which would have been almost instantly after she was reelected, put back into office. She basically cheated them out of their participation in the government after promising that they would be part of it. And I don't know. I just, if nobody else, if they can't get a petition up to do this, somebody will have to do it, because this is so egregious that she can't be allowed to continue to do this.
Tim or Melissa, do you have a question on this for John?
I don't know enough about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I don't know enough about it.
Melissa, same thing. Melissa,
Same.
just not. Okay. Is the council hiring an outside
Yes.
investigator?
Yes. As a matter of fact,
how much is that going to cost?
You know
city,
what?
you know?
It's not going to be a lengthy review.
Okay.
Because the solicitor, who is jammed up and cannot really take sides, because he serves all of us, the mayor and the council and every other employee and agency and commission in the city, he has simply been collecting information. And so all of that information will be turned over to an attorney. And again, I think it's about as simple as evaluating the color of this wall. It's there. It's not going to change.
Off orange.
Nobody's going to.
It's supposed to change.
Nobody-
We offered
you
to
know,
change
we
it.
offered to help them.
Yep.
The data's going to be all there by then. And it's
Yeah.
just a matter of consolidating it, looking at the charter, looking at the laws, and saying, is this legal or not, and is it a violation?
Has a
And
lawyer
then-
been hired?
No.
Okay.
The resolution was just approved, and the solicitor is going to work with the council president to collect names. I actually got a call yesterday myself from an attorney, and I've got a couple of emails and text messages about names to consider, and I will pass them along to the council president, and we will consider the offers being made to do this work, and it should not take that long, actually.
Well, now that you have that closed door session tonight with the city employees in the city council, do you think that closed door session will be cantankerous or ugly, or is it going to get? Will people be yelling?
I'm cantankerous.
Well, I know.
Curmudgeon is what we're thinking.
Is it going to get ugly?
I don't know that it'll get ugly.
Yeah.
I think there are some council people who have expressed their anger or disappointment
right,
or
some of the-
frustration.
that's what I mean by
and
yelling.
I'll be in the. Let me see. I think Councilman Thompson expressed his anger.
Yes.
Council President Beauchamp expressed his
Disappointment. All right.
So I will take the, what was the third one I just said? I don't remember.
Curmudgeon.
No,
All
that's
right,
nice.
I'll take the curmudgeon. No, I'll take the more technical end of this, because
right.
one of the, and I can tell you right now, one of the concerns I have, and it's a question I'm going to ask, and it's a record I'm going to request. We asked for all the emails pertaining to this, and we got emails from the planning department. We received no email concerning any of this that came out of the finance director's office. We received no email. There was nothing in any of the emails where there was a CC to the mayor or the mayor's secretary. Clearly, there was no email CC to the solicitor or the public works director. And so I am going to be doing a request as I leave here today, and I'll be sending an email to the solicitor demanding a copy of all email communications between the mayor and any other party at all related to this transaction. And then I'm going to demand a copy of all emails that, and this can be retrieved by the IT specialists, even if they deleted it. I know about these things. And I've had to do it, actually, in Lincoln at one point for someone. And then I'll demand the same kind of issue with the finance director. Both finance directors who are covering as finance directors between those dates. And then I will ask for, honestly, I'm going to ask the solicitor to provide us a copy of the mayor's calendar. I want to see if she ever met with Ray Bork in this process. I want to see who she met with related to Men in Road.
Knowledge?
Mayor's calendar is as public as the governor's calendar.
Okay.
We have a right to know who she met with and when she met with them. That's on her calendar. And when it was, if it was related to this particular property or topic, yes, that's public record.
All right, we can take another break here in the Coffee and program, but more still coming your way. And Melissa, it's time for a second message from the St. Antoine communities, please.
So my message is about planning ahead. This is a very busy time of year for families to be getting together and checking in on mom and dad during the holidays, and they start to get worried about the winter season approaching. So this is historic. This is something that's been going on forever. I prepare for this time of year every year for the volume of calls and inquiries that we get. The St. Antoine community, both in the nursing home and assisted living, are at capacity, which means that I can't help you on the spot. So if you're thinking about exploring your options and you're thinking about just getting a grasp and an understanding of what is involved in placing a loved one in long-term care, I encourage you to reach out now before there is an emergent need, just so that way you're aware of all your options and you're aware of, costs associated, the planning process that goes into it, paperwork that needs to be filed, et cetera. And also just to be understanding if I don't get back to you within, 2 hours of your phone call. I have some people who reach out and then call again 2 hours later and then 2 hours again after that and just need to talk to me very urgently. And a lot of my day is spent meeting with families. Therefore, I'm not in my office. So I usually default to if you want more information or you want to set up a time to meet, email is the best way to get a hold of me. Because the last thing I want to do is upset you by not prioritizing the call back to you. And we do have a lot of listeners that call and ask for advice. So I'm very grateful for the position that I have here because it does mean that the word is getting out. But email me if I'm not getting back to you by phone as soon as you'd like me to. I check my email at night, in the morning, on the weekends. And sometimes that's the most efficient way for me to connect with you and set up a time to meet in person. So that email is msmith@St. Antoine, and it's STANTOINE.net.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa. More Coffee and coming up. Stick around.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois. Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
Hi, this is Gary Smith. Join me for Do You Remember, Tuesday through Friday mornings at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
It is Coffee Ann here on ON AM at FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan, along with John Ward, Melissa Smith, and Tim Draper. And Tim, time for your first message.
That fast?
From, Navigant Credit Union, please.
Well, you know what? I just want to let everybody know that our new website has launched. So if you are going to either navigantcu.org on your computer or you're going to navigantcu.org on your mobile phone, you will notice some changes to the website and the way things work. We tried to simplify some navigation for everybody, make it easier to find information. But I think the biggest change people notice is their online banking. On the old site, your online banking login box was right there up front. So username and password was presented to you every time you went to the website. You just filled it all in and you went on your merry way. This time, there's a little button at the top of the screen that says log in. And you click on that, and then it presents you with those two boxes. So in a way, we've kind of hidden it to give make the mobile version of the app a little more effective. But essentially, you can get all the information that you could get on our old website on the new website. It just should be easier for you to find. There's links to opening up accounts, applying for loans, all front and center. Make it nice and easy for you. If you're a community service organization, 501c3, and you're looking for support for that organization, down at the bottom of the page in the footer, there's a community donations button that you would click on, and then you can apply online for those funds. And if you're looking for a charitable donation of $10,000 or more, that has to go through our foundation, which we decide twice a year on those grant requests. That is also at the bottom of the website as well, so you can click on the link there. So all the information that you need is in a new, fresh, clean format and look. And again, the biggest change is the login, which is now you just have to press the button to get to your login. You can log in anywhere you want.
All right, very good, Tim. We have another note that was called in on a completely different subject. It's just very hard to accept the demise of the dynasty. The mighty Patriots with the King Tom Brady are no more. 23 years of supreme team of sports absolutely is no longer. Even hard to digest now, so the question is, does the loyalty remain because we are also Rands? Yes, it hurts to see them like this. Let's play out the season and root for our team. Well, you got to stay loyal to the team.
Yeah,
everyone remembers, except for Melissa. You're too young. But the Rod Rust, you remember Rod Rust?
No.
Okay. And Dick
But I still had to make
it was
the face
awful.
at you.
Those were awful years.
And Dick McPherson.
No.
These are the head coaches of the Patriots. And
Yeah.
they were terrible.
Yeah, they were really bad.
But when you could, if they sold out in time,
Right.
you watch them on
When did
TV to see what's going to happen.
Patriots came into existence in what, 1960?
60 something.
Yeah, they played at Boston University.
Yeah, they played at BU, and so if I always think back and have memories of my poor father and so many other fathers of people my age who grew up with the Red Sox and
In the early 60s when they weren't
Patriots
good.
in the 60s and
Yeah.
the 70s.
Yep.
And what was a victory? Oh, it was an accident usually.
Yeah.
And the only thing we could hope for was Bobby Orr and
Yeah.
Right, the Bruins come up.
And the
Bill-
Celtics
and-
did.
and
Celtics
Bill,
did
and
well
Bill
in the 60s.
Russell.
Yeah.
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 and John Havlicek. So it was
Right.
basically a winter sports town.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the case for a little while again.
Well, I think so too. It's
Celtics
funny.
Bruins season this year.
It's
You
cyclical.
realize, history will show that Tom Brady was in fact, I think he was the greatest
cause.
football
Greatest.
player ever, and it was the reason that we were successful. Bill had a role in it without
Yes.
question. But I go back to I think back to when Bill Parcells left the Patriots, and he said, if you want me to cook the dinner, I should at least be able to shop for the groceries.
That's right.
Well, Bill Belichick is buying day-old groceries that aren't working very well,
Yeah.
and so it's like, okay, Bill, maybe we need a new chef.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, Texas Rangers, how long they been around?
Same amount. Well, 50 years or so.
Yeah.
a little more than
First time.
First time they win the series.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, it's going to happen. Well, I think we'll
And
be
then
good
there's the
again.
Cubs. So, you know,
I know.
right.
It takes
different
Well, the
situations.
game-
And I think
but you don't stop rooting for the Patriots
No.
just
No.
because they're not playing well.
You watch it for different reasons now. Like this weekend is a 9:30 game in Germany.
Mm.
So, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I plan to watch. I plan
Yes.
on actually
Yeah.
having a little brunch party and a little Bloody Marys and
Which day? Saturday or Sunday?
on Sunday.
Sunday
9:30 in the
morning.
morning.
Yeah, I know.
9:30
Which
in the
day?
morning.
The day
No.
before.
9:30 in the morning. I know you're retired, so you probably lost track of the days.
No.
So today is
No,
Wednesday.
I'll be suffering through preparing to tee off in 85-degree weather in Florida.
Oh, that's all he was
I
looking to set up
probably
there.
won't be watching that game.
All right. Well,
the-
it probably won't
it's-
be anything to
it's
miss
the-
either.
No,
It's
it won't
the
be, which is
annual-
why you
Yeah.
have some Bloody Marys and
It's
food to
the
distract.
annual Ward Brothers trip to Florida for a golf.
Oh,
boy.
fun.
Very nice.
I'll be away. As a matter of fact, I won't be here next Wednesday unless I phone it in because our tea time is, I think,
Early.
around 10:30 on
Oh,
Wednesday
okay.
before we fly back. So I could phone it in if there's something critical going on before then.
We
You
want
can
to know what's
make-
going on
you
with
can
Socket.
make- You can make that call.
Um,
Literally and figuratively.
That's true.
He's
Literally,
not
and
making the
figuratively.
call because he feels
He doesn't care about
like,
us.
Yeah.
I want to be with Tim and Melissa. No, it's nothing like that.
The choice is watching some sloppy news program in the morning while I'm eating my Cheerios and going
We're listening
for
to
a
the
walk
Wrecking Crew.
to listen to the Wrecking Crew.
Oh,
All right.
boy.
Front page of today's call. Police arrest 5 at the homeless encampment. This is over under the Clinton Street over underpass kind of thing.
The over underpass, no,
Yeah.
under the overpass for the train trestle, actually,
Right,
not,
yeah,
the,
yeah.
not the Court Street Bridge.
Right.
The parallel. I have a question though. I mean, I know Russ Olivo. We all know Russ Olivo for many years now,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been pushing in these articles for the call, even though he retired.
He's in Florida. You
He's
should
in
stop-
Florida.
you should stop
How
by
does
and
he
say-
get these stories?
Stop by and say hi.
Should invite him to
How does
the
he
Ward
get these
Brothers
stories?
golf outing.
Florida's a big state, by the way. I'm not sure. I'm not sure he's just around the corner.
Is it in here? It's not. But every other day or once a week, the
I
call
know.
will put in their police log. So just
So
he goes and looks
he
at that.
picked
and
it
makes-
off the police log
Yeah.
and started making phone calls to turn it
yeah,
into a story.
That's
okay.
right. 5 people were arrested at homeless camp.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
there's
just-
a story.
I just wonder how he pulls all this together
Gets
from
it from
down
the
in
police,
Florida.
police log. It's public knowledge.
I thought maybe he
or
was
for the police website.
clairvoyant or something.
No. But what the interesting thing is, they arrest the 5 people. The police go there and they spread out, and then they try running,
Yeah.
and they catch them all, and
But,
so they got one
well,
guy in the building.
The cool part was they apparently had somebody
They
up
saw
on
it
the
up top,
trestle
yeah,
looking
looking
down.
down.
from
Came down to
above.
tell everybody where
Yes,
they're going.
that's right. But one of the guys is in the he's waiting to be processed, and he fell asleep, which may happen. You're sitting in the chair, and then but he slumps over, and a glassine bag falls out of his mouth.
Oh,
Yeah,
True.
wasn't that the one with fentanyl in it?
Yes.
oh my
The
God.
guy's not dead.
He
That
could have been
amazes
dead
me.
10 times over,
Right.
or 1,000 times over for all the fentanyl that was in there, and it wasn't a lot.
It's that good glassine that protected him.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my God.
Saran wrap.
So, yeah, it's a baggy.
Yeah, that's right. That's all it really is. So, anyway, good police work though.
Yeah, great work. Great
I
work
wonder
by
how
Russ
many-
Oliver from
I
Florida.
wonder how many storage bags they'd sell if they listed them as glassine bags. Every drug dealer would be running to the
Running for
supermarket.
them.
Well, maybe stop and shop and have a run on the bags.
Alrighty then. So the person that did the hit and run that resulted in the death of
Richard
Richard
Forty.
Forty.
How come it took so long to get that out?
I
'Cause
don't know why.
I know you guys have been struggling with not
Yeah.
wanting to say his name.
But then
and
you said it at the
I
city
didn't
council
struggle.
meeting.
Yeah, well,
no,
you
no,
didn't,
no.
which is
No,
fine.
I saw it on Facebook
I
from you.
found out only because I had actually been up at the Mendon Road property that the city was involved with the day before this accident, and Brian and I were talking with Richard that day
Oh, wow.
before. Very, very nice man. I mean, he's sort of quirky. He had his own personality, but he was always good for a laugh and always joking and having fun. And wanted to enjoy life and would help anybody with anything. Not a wealthy person, but wouldn't matter. He'd give you his time. If he didn't have any other way to help you, he'd give you his time. I mean, that day before, he was raking the sidewalk on Mendon Road to get the leaves off of it.
Now I've heard from different people that
And I think it was because they couldn't easily contact a relative, maybe, that they won't release a name until they have that.
that's the way it
information.
works. Yeah. So,
And
but
so-
his obit's in now, so it's
in there
public
now.
knowledge. But the person that's been charged with the hit and run, and I've heard both sides. He's out on bail, and some people are not happy with that, and others like okay. Now I think he's got a very good lawyer, who's worked it, saying he's never been in trouble with the law. He wasn't intoxicated. He wasn't on drugs. He wasn't texting when this accident happened. Yes, he ran.
He ran,
So you
but
panicked.
then he came back around and turned himself in.
Did he?
Yeah,
I don't
that's
remember that
I
part.
think one of the key issues
Yeah.
is that they
To
know
the
he
Woonsocket
had
police
no
or North Attleboro
to
police?
Woonsocket police,
Okay.
and he had no alcohol or drugs in
Right.
the system. And honest to goodness, that's a narrow section of street that this happened on, and I hate to say it, but I think they were crossing not at the corner of the crosswalk.
Mm-hmm.
They were just crossing in the middle of the area between the Dewey Street, let's say, and Wood Avenue, that area of Diamond Hill Road.
And this
there's
is
no,
not
there's
making
no crosswalks there. They were crossing at night.
this is and they were wearing black, weren't they?
Yeah, well, they were dark
Dark
clothes,
dark
apparently.
clothes. So it's hard to see.
Yeah.
And
In
then
that
sadly, you know,
situation.
But the question is, are you okay with him being out on bail?
Well, I think if he turned himself, if it was a matter of, oh my God, I just did something really bad, and then panic and you run, and then you
Yeah.
go, oh, I can't do that, and then you turn around and go back and
Yeah.
you turn yourself in. I mean, you've got some remorse there, so
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, I think so.
You okay with it, Melissa?
I have to assume he just panicked, and then I think there has to be room for sensitivity to that because we don't know how we would act in that moment. Also
Right.
wondering if if I don't know time of night, darkness, etc., dark clothes, but did he think he hit a deer and didn't?
Well,
That's
the other part is he's not somebody with a criminal background.
right.
He's not somebody who, it's not an area where he was speeding that he would have been
He didn't
that
give the officers a hard
negligent.
time.
You can't do that on that space of the road. There's just nothing to indicate that he has any criminal intent
Yeah.
or criminal history. I suspect when this is all over, and many people may get frustrated, but I suspect when it's all over, he may end up serving a minimal amount of time in a low security situation and
Might
be on
just be
probation,
suspended.
or it might be
Right.
suspended.
altogether.
And then he has to live with
because
that.
at some
Right,
point,
right.
at some point, sometimes these things are just accidents.
That's right. That's right. All right, we take another break here on the Coffee and program. So, Tim, it's time for a second message from Navigant Credit Union.
End of the year, folks, you're kind of looking at what you did for the year for finances, and you're trying to figure out where you're going to go next year. And we just want you to know that Navigant Credit Union is here to support any of the questions you might have about your accounts over the course of the year. Of course, you get all your correct documentation in January for tax purposes, but you may be sitting there going, okay, did I meet my budget? Did I do things the way I wanted to do them? Again, we have a great money management tool behind the firewall at navigantcu.org and our online banking platform that really can help you see the full picture of where you spent your money. The great thing about the tool is that if you're spending money out of your checking account or out of any of your accounts, once you've gone through the process of setting up budgets, the spend actually will be automatically categorized for you. And then you can go back and change it if you want. But let's say you went to the Cumberland Farms and bought gas. The first time you do that, it might come back and say, was this gas? And you can say yes, and it goes to your gas budget. But then every time you go to Cumberland Farms after that, it'll automatically put it in the budget for you. So you don't have to go back and redo it. You just go every once in a while and make sure that things are being categorized correctly. But that's a really powerful tool. It's very visual. We have these little cool bubbles that show you what you said your budget should be, and then if they turn yellow, you're getting close, and if they turn red, you're in big trouble. And if it's green, then you're fine. You're okay. It'll record the income that you've got coming into your accounts and outflows, and you can bring in your credit cards from other banks and credit unions, and accounts from other banks and credit unions into our money management tool, so you can keep track of them. Even your investment accounts you can keep track of. So the money management tool is an excellent tool inside of our online banking platform, and I encourage you to try it. It doesn't cost you anything to use. A little bit of your time to get it set up. So navigantcu.org, go to online banking and check out our money management tool.
Thanks, Tim. The Coffee and program will continue on ON Radio right after this.
The S. DePardo Memorial Chapel Funeral Home provides a comfortable and welcoming environment because they believe that funeral arrangements should ease your burden, not add to them. The staff at the S. DePardo Memorial Chapel Funeral Home will work with you to individualize the life of the deceased and help you plan a personal tribute while guiding you through all phases of the process. For information about pre-planning and cremation, please call 767-5577. The S. DePardo Memorial Chapel Funeral Home, 1583 Diamond Hill Road, Woonsocket.
Hi, this is Wendy Pyrus from Community Care Alliance. This November 8th, mark your calendars for a special event that embodies the true spirit of the holiday season. Join us right here on ON Radio from 3:30 to 7 p.m. for the Holiday for Kids Radioathon. You can help provide local children and teens with the magic of the holiday season. Please help us be part of the magic, the warmth, and the excitement. Tune in on November 8th, 3:30 to 7.
All right, and that Community Care Alliance Radiothon is today
Yeah.
from 3:30 to 7 here on ON Radio. Joe Callahan here with Tim Draper and Melissa Smith and John Ward. So this is making the rounds on the social media. You've probably been talking around the water cooler about this. Homer Simpson will no longer choke his son Bart in The Simpsons
I am not a
TV
Simpsons
show.
fan.
Is that
You're
still
not?
on? Is that is? I thought that
I am
ended.
not a Simpsons
No.
I
fan.
thought that ended back in the 90s. No,
Simpsons
still
has been on since 1989.
That's been up.
They are in.
It's the only
they
one
were-
that's run longer
Yes.
than the Flintstones.
They're
ran.
on season 35
Wow.
of The Simpsons.
And Bart's
So-
still a boy?
yes.
Wow.
He's
yes.
not a grandfather.
Peter
at
Pan
this
never
point.
grows up.
The
Now-
baby's still sucking on a pass.
That's right. The producers of the animated TV show are confirming this policy shift. The last time Homer choked Bart on an episode of The Simpsons was 3 years ago, but now Homer will take a stand against child abuse. In episode 3 of season 35, Homer tells a new neighbor that he won't be choking his son anymore. The word on social media, and fans are split about the decision. Some are cheering the move because it's against child abuse, and others see it as a mandate from Disney, which owns the animated series.
It's probably
Why you little?
I have more questions about the show.
probably a little.
Like, can we- so it's 30 years?
35.
Yeah,
35
right?
years.
35
seasons.
years. So
That's
I'm
older than
sorry.
you, Melissa.
No, not quite.
You're welcome.
But I don't. I'm gonna elbow you off air. The camera's on me, so
There's
then you
evidence,
could
yeah.
No choking the
talk about
guests. No choking the
pursuing
panelists.
someone, but no repeat of plots. No, what they never did a holiday episode. How many Christmas episodes can you do? With all that.
Yeah, they always did a Halloween episode.
How do you?
There's a Hallmark channel.
There's no age.
Touche.
But
What you need to do is you need to do a couple of Google searches.
I'm not
but
gonna
I'd
watch
suggest
it, so.
DuckDuckGo. No, don't go watch the show. All I want you to do is type in the words.
type in the words. I'm on it.
I keep thinking. What
Bart?
Simpsons.
Simpsons.
I keep thinking South Park.
Keep thinking Family
Simpsons
Guy.
predictions that have come true.
Oh, that's amazing. How many predictions
Simpsons
have come
predictions that have come true.
true? Yeah.
Like
And
Donald Trump being president?
Yes.
I remember that one.
Yes, there's a lot.
Okay, nighttime
it's quite
reading.
a lot.
I'll leave it up on my
they,
screen.
All right.
They put out some strange episodes and then they became reality. It's frightening. It's
Real Tamako plants.
Well, not at all right.
not all.
Smartwatches.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right.
Accessible
well-
space travel. I could keep going. Three-eyed fish.
Yeah.
How many? I'm wondering how many products were specifically designed to mimic what they had
What
on
they
Star
made.
Trek.
Well, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Communicators. I mean,
communicators.
I was watching
That
a
was a Star
person
Trek
in a
phone.
public space. I was watching a person laying down on a sort of laying halfway on a sofa and doing this, talking to their watch, and I'm
Right.
thinking, none of these people know Dick Tracy.
That's right.
That is right.
And they're doing it. That's right.
But I will say that the shoe phone never caught on. So
Too bad.
that's,
I
that's
don't
an
think it will.
unfortunate thing.
I'm still waiting for the Jetsons wardrobe, where you go in
Oh,
and you
just
hit a
wake up
button
in the
and then
morning,
you.
you
It
get
dresses you
showered,
for
it
you.
dresses you.
If someone could work on that, that would be very helpful with two
Flying,
teenage
flying
girls.
cars
and-
are here, though. I've seen
Flying cars?
several
Flying cars.
Yep.
flying car versions.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're getting there.
Yep.
All right. In the spirit of the holidays, the Empire State Building is marking the 20 years since the movie Elf hit the big screen.
Oh, I
yeah.
know.
Love Elf.
Me
20
too.
years.
20 years. How about that?
I know.
Festivities celebrating the film, starring Will Ferrell, kick off today. For tonight only, the building will be lit in green and yellow to commemorate the anniversary. It'll look like Buddy
love
the
it.
Elf.
Yeah.
And there will be 3 different screenings of on the building's 80th floor. If you want to go to New York, December 3rd, 10th, and the 17th. More information can be found on the Empire State Building's website.
That movie made Jon Favreau's career.
Because
Because they didn't want to make the movie,
That's-
and
yeah.
he just pushed it, and
Yeah.
they did, and he said, "I'll get Will Ferrell," and he got him.
It's one of the best.
Yeah, one of just one of those
Just
lightning.
classic, lighthearted
Right.
Christmas movie.
I have a confession.
You've never seen
I
it.
have never seen it.
Stop it!
Okay, we're
You
giving
got
you an
You know
assignment.
grandchildren.
why? You know why?
To see
Because I have never felt like Will Ferrell's humor is
You know,
something that I can enjoy.
My wife felt exactly the same way.
Till she saw Elf.
And I think it was because of SNL.
Yeah,
But then,
probably.
but then we had, we had small kids 20 years ago, and,
Yep.
and they wanted to see it. So she just sat down and watched it because the kids wanted to see it, fell in love with it.
I don't
Change your
love him in.
complete-
I don't
with
love
your
him in
grandkids.
everything.
Changed his
Watch it with
complete
your
outlook
grandkids.
It's
on
not
Will
that
Ferrell.
same stupid
No,
sophomore.
because
No,
he plays,
no.
The frat house.
No,
kid.
It's
he's
Christmassy.
It's not that at all.
He's like a young child.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
he's like Big Bird.
So he
basically.
plays
He's a
it. He plays it
6-foot
real.
elf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plays it
He,
genuine.
believable.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's
elf
important to
personality.
know because I've never liked Will Ferrell's humor.
But
Okay, but this is different.
Bob Newhart's in it. It's fantastic.
Bob
Bob
Newhart.
Newhart's
He's
in
my
it.
favorite
Ed
part. I
Asner's
have
in
Ed
it.
That's great.
Asner's in it.
Bob
James-
Newhart to
James-
me is the epitome of comedy. I mean,
Right.
If I need comedy in my life,
Yeah.
I'll
Go to
just
Bob
go watch Newhart,
Yep.
his stage act,
Yep.
or I'll go watch Hollywood Squares.
I love Poland.
You know what we just started watching again was Wings. Do you remember the show Wings?
Wings
I
is
do.
funny.
You mean
Similarly,
the
we
Cape-
kind
the
of
Cape
felt like
Cod
we wanted
Airport?
to
Yeah,
throw back.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so we started watching
I
that
watched-
again.
Antonio
watched a few of those.
Scarpacci.
Yes,
He was
roaring
the cab
laughing.
driver.
I
Right.
saw a few of those.
Tony
and I-
Shalhoub.
All the
and
old
I'll-
stuff is the good
I'll
stuff.
confess I've never watched The Simpsons either.
No, I
Yeah, I've never
didn't
watched
either.
The Simpsons.
Never
I'm
really
a
got
Family
into
Guy.
it.
I'm a bigger fan of South Park and their biting humor.
Mr. Hanky.
I'm not watching the Trump trial.
No,
That's not a-
although that's a
that's not a-
comedy.
that's not a
That's a
comedy.
comedy.
Lowell on
Although I'm
Wings
still
was great.
Now that I've always said that I want to see Nikki Haley as the Republican representative running for president, I've picked my person, and I think I've mentioned it before that I think should be the Democrat running for president. Is Bashir from Kentucky. If he can break through the barrier to get elected in Kentucky as a Democrat, he's a viable person to manage the country, and he just won his election, so he's free and clear next year. I would love to see Haley versus Bashir and see those two debate.
All right. You see Elvis Presley's second cousin lost
Yeah.
Awesome.
in down in Tennessee? Is that where
If he was his
from?
first cousin, he might have won. But the
Yeah,
second,
second,
cousin,
it
nobody
doesn't
really cares
matter.
about the second. Was the second cousin once removed, or is it really truly second?
They
cousin?
just second. So I don't know how you feel about this. I'm not a big condiment person, so this really doesn't affect me. But Heinz, the ketchup people,
Yeah.
will launch a new pickle-flavored ketchup next year.
Why? Why?
Why?
A convenience?
And I love-
Reinventing.
I
It's like
love-
adding putting
I-
peanut butter and jelly in the same container. Just to make
I've seen those. I've seen those
I
in
know.
the store.
Why are there so many flavors of Cheerios? Why are there so many
Oh, wait a
Marketing.
minute.
It's all marketing.
Oreos?
I know.
Because
Oreos
there's
is
a
out of-
market
is out of
niche
control.
that
There's
they've
even
gotta
pickle
grab.
vodka right now. I feel like pickle is a
new
is a
thing?
rage right now. Yeah.
Well, the condiment maker says
Did you
pickle
know that?
ketchup will combine the tangy and savory flavor of pickles with the unmistakable taste of Heinz ketchup. Heinz noted that a recent Data Central report showed 73% of Americans enjoy the taste of pickles, which I think is
They do.
pretty
Well,
high.
let's think
They
about
gotta
it.
be
So in
kosher
Rhode
dill.
Island, it's big for us to do vinegar on fries.
Right.
Right? So I can see where the marrying of the two being like, let's say, extra vinegar mixed in with ketchup might give you that.
Ketchup's made with vinegar, though.
But but extra, like
extra, okay.
extra.
So,
Don't you
but
do
the-
vinegar plus
I'm
ketchup
from
on your fries?
Woonsocket. I don't really talk about poutine.
Poutine.
Pickle
It
ketchup.
might be good.
Well, pickup ketchup won't hit the stores until 2024, so
They
you
call it
can't see
ketchup?
the combination of green and red.
I'm
for
sorry.
This
What did you
holiday
call
season.
it? Pickach? What
No,
did you just?
pickle ketchup.
Oh, I thought you
is
had
what
a
they're gonna call
clever mashing up
Maybe
the
it'll be
names.
pickup.
Pick
I don't work for
pickach.
marketing for Heinz, so
Pickup.
I cannot do that.
Ketchup.
I thought it slipped out. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, that's a good name for it.
And a
They
hungry,
trademark it so they can't use it.
a hungry bear is blamed for ruining a Florida family's dinner. Longwood, Florida residents Lady Gutierrez and Daniel Bula ordered dinner through Uber Eats from Taco Bell last week, and the family's doorbell camera shows the driver dropping off the food before a black bear wanders onto the porch and takes it away.
That's awesome.
The
Well, it
couple's
got
niece,
delivered, so they must have tipped.
That's right. The couple's niece says the bear even took the soda.
Well, you know,
Got to wash it down with some
so I
Coke.
think it's okay. Get some good.
Wow.
Uber Eats did issue the family a refund. And they
Well,
won't,
that's nice of
They won't be
them to
charging
do
the
that.
bear.
Send the police after the bear.
Yeah.
It's,
Return the food.
Didn't know the bears like tacos.
Well, it's food and it's
yeah.
outside
Food.
in
That's
bear
all that
country.
matters?
That's all that matters.
And you
food
can-
outside and bears, just a
You
combination
can
that
just
works
smell it.
every
You can
time.
smell it through the bag, and everything's fine.
I wonder
right?
if tacos upset a bear's belly.
Probably not at this time. When they're
Like,
gonna
you know,
be
something that's
hibernating,
spicy.
so-
I just wonder, you know.
More importantly, how long was the food waiting outside the front door
It
before
doesn't-
the bear
it doesn't
showed
say.
up? Because don't they ring the bell and then you just
And then they leave.
You get an app. Your food has been delivered.
Yeah.
You go out and you get it.
But it doesn't mean that they're there. If you you could try to plan ahead.
Yeah.
All right, we're out somewhere, and all right, we'll be home in half an hour. Let's call Uber Eats now,
okay.
have them deliver it to the house, and it'll be there when we get there.
I have to tell you,
How
I've
great
never
is that?
done Uber Eats.
Neither am I.
I can
I-
imagine
Or
that,
DoorDash.
but
Or DoorDash.
No, I haven't either.
never done it, never will.
Yeah.
If I want food, I'll go get it.
Yeah.
But I've been in McDonald's, I've been in a Dunkin' Donuts, and I've seen the DoorDash people come in,
100%.
grab it, and leave.
Yeah.
So somebody's doing it.
So,
lots of
I
people
gotta,
are doing
so
it.
this is
No
this is a
doubt.
new pet peeve of mine.
all right.
So I was at a breakfast restaurant a couple of weeks last week, and I'm like, why is the service in this place a half an hour now? For me, it took me half an hour to get in, and then a half an hour to
Prepping
get
the
my
DoorDash
food.
meals.
It's exactly what it is.
The DoorDash before
They've
you.
They prioritize the DoorDash
They don't want
breakfast
those people hanging around.
before I'm the paying customer who waited a half an hour outside your door to get into your restaurant.
But the DoorDash,
and then
people,
you wait me
but the
another
DoorDash
hour.
people pay
I know where
too.
you
When
were.
I was down in Virginia, last week, I think it was Tuesday, I took the kids. I took the kids out and we got pumpkins, and then we came back, and on the way we stopped at Panera Bread.
Yep.
And we ordered a meal on the little kiosk because
Yep.
there's no
You
humans
don't talk
that
to
actually
anybody.
deal. You fill out your little thing.
There are no humans.
The
in
order was
Panera.
placed, and you move over to where you're picking up the order, and I'm
Yeah.
standing there looking at this rack.
Of bags.
4 shelves of bags.
Bags, yeah.
Right.
Boom, 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 boom. None of the customers are picking up their order. It's all DoorDash stuff.
Right.
Wow.
And
So
Uber Eats.
have we gotten to the? Which I guess it makes me ask the question. We don't want to. Number one, we don't want to cook anymore. But number two,
I do.
we're unwilling to. Well, some of us do, but get to like literally have to not even leave my house. I'm just gonna sit on my couch like the lazy
Yeah.
fat slob that I am.
People are
I'm gonna
homebodies.
order this on my phone. The next thing you know, the Uber driver's gonna be able to come into your house and give you
give
the
it to
food,
you.
right? Serve
Yeah.
the food to
Or
you.
they'll come to your house and cook it.
Right? Yeah.
The part that you're missing too is also you've become impatient as a customer. Like when I think back to being a kid living at home and my parents taking us out to dinner, like a big deal on a weekend night, you would wait in a lobby of a restaurant for 45 minutes or so to get in, and you had to just sit there and wait. You can call ahead now. There's all these things. No one has patience anymore. It has to be instantaneous.
There's a big but. 2 things. One is, have you ever recently actually walked into a Dunkin' Donuts or walked into a McDonald's or walked into one of these places and wanted to place an order for something? Or Dunkin' Donuts, not so much. McDonald's, you got to go use a stupid kiosk
Yeah.
and all those other places. But if you go, I've gone into a McDonald's and I'm watching standing there. No one comes to the counter,
No.
and they're all
Right.
moving around, taking care of the drive-through,
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
and I'm being ignored
Right.
Yes.
as a customer.
Yes, that's true.
And
That's happened to me. At
I
actually.
didn't scream and leave.
Yep.
My wife
there's
knows
no
I'm not a
instruction.
patient person, but I didn't scream and leave.
But that's everywhere,
but-
I feel like.
Watch how the world is changing related to self-checkout. The retailers are starting to come to the realization that we can't do this quite so much. We're going to have to start hiring some help.
Yeah.
People are stealing.
And people, they're finding,
Ways to get around it.
Market Basket's pretty crowded.
Right. Dave's.
There's no self-checkout. Dave's
Dave's
is
is
pretty
crowded. No
There's no
self-checkout.
self-checkout.
There you go.
There are people that are abandoning those operations where there's nothing but self-checkout.
Or you have
and
sensitive
even
technology.
some Walmarts are
Right.
starting to reopen
Right.
Right.
register.
The Stop and Shop here in town. I don't know if you've ever done self-checkout. I refuse to do it now. I've done it 3 times and it's gone sour each time. But besides the fact that you're paying for brown bags as well, because they ask you how many bags
Oh,
you have
yeah.
to use.
I do it when I have nothing more than I can fit
Right.
in my hands, and I don't use bags.
But even
because
with
those,
that-
those bags are trash.
Well, they are trash.
So I
She's
bought
so thin.
3 mums the other day for move-ins. I like to leave little flowers in the apartments of folks that are moving and with little notes. And so I had them checking out, and you put them on. So you scan them and you put them onto the little sensor thing next to it, the little table. And because they were kind of clumsy and falling off the side a little bit, as I'm putting my credit card in, I picked one up.
Uh-oh.
Immediately, it sends an alert to the lady to come over and help me.
They're stealing our stuff.
That's kind of what it is. So then she cleared it out, whatever. I put it back down, and I'm like, okay, I won't touch it. So I put my credit card in. I think it's cleared because I pull it out. It says it's all processed or whatever, and I go to pick up the mum. It canceled
Again.
the transaction again. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
So I've tried this 3 times on 3 different occasions. I'm done. I'm all set with it. It absolutely takes me longer to do that than just going through a line.
You need to tap it.
Tap what?
If you tap your
The
card,
credit card? Yeah.
it skips
Chip. You got your
a
chip.
couple of steps.
It does.
It does.
And
My
it
issue
goes
is more
straight
at the
to
belt,
finishing
the little
transaction.
stupid thing that all the groceries sit on.
Yeah,
If you're not
it's-
using
it's
a
actually-
bag,
it's weighing the product.
it is.
Yeah.
But then if you go to
Apple
lift
Wallet.
it to, did you
Apple Wallet.
Oh, I thought you were showing us your bank account.
You can see it. There's nothing in it.
Congratulations.
There's nothing in it.
We want to announce the winner of today's Autumn Fest Prize of Day calendar winner. Today is the 8th. Yeah, I know we're late. Today they win the Platinum Car Washes from Executive Auto Wash, $25 gift card. No, Kay's Restaurant, $50 gift card to RJ Hill Liquors, $25 gift card to B&M Printing. That's in Cumberland, and our winner today is Peter Brichette, yes, of Cumberland.
Yay, Peter!
All right, so Tim, thanks for coming in today.
Joe, thanks for having me.
All right, and Melissa, thanks for coming in.
Good to see you.
All right, and John Ward.
Hey,
thanks
it's
for coming
cold out there, so enjoy the God-given day.
All right, this is
With
Joe.
a coat this time, with a coat.
That's
With a
right.
coat.
This is Joe Callahan. Have a great day. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do you remember at 9:30 on ON Radio?
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. The United States Centers for Disease Control is expanding its traveler surveillance